Yeah. Yeah. It was a fun movie. I personally liked it.
Mm.
I don't find myself. I have no desire of watching it again. But it exists. In my opinion, I think it's better than the Sonic movies because they're
Uh,
actually.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the Sonic movie's a better one.
I just don't like live action CGI put together. That's why I don't really like watching the Alvin and Chipmunks movies anymore. As a kid, I liked them, of course,
What
but
about
nowadays I
Shipwreck? That's classic.
just can't stand them.
What about Alvin the
Yeah,
Chipmunk's
but what about
shit
Road
face? Which did you like that one?
I like the 2D Alvin and Chipmunks. I think those ones are solid. Chris Pratt. Sorry, burp came out. Chris Pratt's performance was not as bad as I thought it would be. If anything, I would just say it's lazy. But
I mean,
that's
it's just Emmett from the Lego Movie.
It is.
yeah. I mean, I never watched Lego Movie in English, but I'll take your word on it.
Yeah, he sounds like Mario.
I'll take your word on it. I can really.
Who voices Emmett in the Portuguese dub?
No, I never actually looked up the voice actors for for the Portuguese dub. I never really cared.
Well, was it good? Did he do the job
Was he a
well?
famous actor?
I mean, it did. I wasn't annoyed by it. It did its. The voice was fine. It delivered the lines perfectly fine to me, anyways. So.
Okay. Do you recognize his voice in anything else?
Not really. I don't really like what. Well, when it comes to me, I barely watch stuff dubbed. I only watch it if the opportunity. Basically, if I'm with people and they want to watch the movie, I'll just watch it with whatever dub they prefer.
Oh, and you probably watched it in theaters, right?
Mm-hmm. I went to watch with my friends at the time, and it was alright. Again, I didn't dislike it. I find the Lego movies to be charming. The video games are kind of boring, though. I like the new Star Wars one. I like the new Star Wars one.
The 3DS version of the Lego Movie is actually a lot better. It's a lot more fast-paced.
I just don't like traditional Lego games. That's why the only Lego games that I personally think look cool and fun to play are the new Lego Star Wars and the Lego
Jamasa
City
hates that one
Undercover.
a lot.
I hate the new Lego Star Wars. It's so freaking boring.
Because it gives you more options than not.
No,
If it give you less options, then you play like it better.
No, here's the thing. Yash, it is a walking simulator where 95% of the game you are doing an escort mission. Like, escort mission or walking to the next location is like 80% of the entire game. And then the levels are only like 5 minutes long each, and then you go back to walking. I like the exploration aspects of it, but you still have to beat the story mode to do that, which takes just a really long time, and it's so freaking slow.
I mean, it is Star Wars. Star Wars is kind of a boring IP, but I digress. You're talking to a guy who doesn't like Star Wars, but yeah. When you work with the material you have to work with, it's kind of hard to be creative, and you have to follow a predetermined path. You know what I mean?
I guess.
So again, I don't like Star Wars, but I do like the fact that it's a third-person shooter now. The Lego movie.
It was a third-person
Lego.
shooter. Well, there was a third-person shooter segments in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'll give it this. They gave me that level where I get to play as Jar Jar fighting the droids, so I'll give them that. They get like 15 points up for giving me a Jar Jar level where I get to fully play as Jar Jar while he attacks droids. So probably it's like 10 times better than the original game now that level's in there. I have a soft spot for episode 1. I actually really like episode 1, even though it sucks.
Yeah, most people don't. Is it because you find
like
Jar Jar funny?
I know it's terrible. I know it's genuinely terrible, but I just have a really soft spot for it. I like it.
Is it because you find Jar Jar funny?
I used to when I was really young, but I find Watto funny now and other characters.
Because he just makes noises and you find that funny.
Yeah, they make funny noises.
and you find that amusing, you say, "Ho ho ho!" He made me laugh.
Also, Darth Maul is a genuinely awesome villain. I'll give it like I really.
He doesn't
really
talk.
Like him.
He just does. He just looks.
Yeah,
at
that's
you.
what makes him cool. He's so menacing.
I should probably watch the Star Wars.
But he
movies.
dies like a bitch.
Because I only tried watching the first one and I got bored of it. I watched The Force Awakens when it first came out back in theaters because my father wanted to watch it. And with the exception of all I remember from that one guy is that one movie is that the protagonist is a person of color. I remember the stormtrooper who was really into his line, into his position, and he just spinned the baton saying, "You traitor!" or some shit like that.
Wait, that's the one. That's one of the few things you remember.
Yeah, because I found it funny. I found it funny. Like I was
No,
that got me to
do.
chuckle.
I find it funny that that's one of the few things you remember it.
And I also remember
one line from one character that never appears again.
I also remember that one guy who gave the protagonist his jacket, and then when he found him alive, he tried to give it back, and he was like, "No, you can have it." And I find that to be really sweet.
That's Poe and Finn.
Yeah, well, Finn is not the protagonist of the film. It's Rey.
Well,
No, I also know that
Finn gets more screen time though, right?
In the beginning, but then it switches to whole, and that's the entire film. Just
who plays Luke Skywalker again? I forget the name of the actor. He's very famous. Right?
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, yeah, I know how Mark Hamill was in the after credit scene. So there was that.
So what you're saying is out of 10, it's a 10. 10 out of 10 movie.
Do you remember when everybody thought that movie was incredible, and then after like a year, people were like, "Oh yeah, that movie was just okay."
No, it's because it took a while for people to realize, hey, wait a second, it's just episode 6 of Star Wars again. It literally just before be episode 6 of Star Wars, or episode 1, the original from the 80s.
I'm friends with people who love Star Wars, and they usually just say that the Disney they separate the movies like this. There's the original trilogy, and then there's the prequels, and then there's the Disney shit. That's how they classify it, and they legitimately do not like the Disney movies.
Well, yeah,
okay,
but,
they don't like Force
you're talking
Awakens.
to a group of people that were watching it after episodes 8 and 9 came out. Like right when episode 7 came out, you like I could not find a person that would say episode 7 was bad. Like right after episode 7 came out, everybody was just in love with it.
Yeah, because they didn't know any better at the time, and then after a while, they're like, "Hey, wait a second, it's just episode 4 again."
Afterwards, like now thinking back, I'd still watch it over episode 6, but it's definitely on the lower end. It's probably like it's just okay for me. It's like perfectly in the middle.
I wouldn't know. I'm gonna be real with you, Jeb. The only thing that I have to say about Star Wars that I liked as a kid was I watched the Star Wars Clone Wars back on Cartoon Network, and I didn't understand English.
Cool.
Which one, the Gendy one or the CGI one?
I was gonna get to that.
I like the Gendy
CGI
one better. I like Gendy's better.
I used to watch the Gendy one a lot, actually. We had it on DVD.
I'm on level 5, by the way. Not sure
I'm
what
on level
you
6.
are.
I'm on the boss.
So Jem is
How many levels does this shit have, by the way, Jeff?
90.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? This boss will just trap you and hit you multiple times until you're dead. You can get into a lock where it drains your entire health without you having a chance to get back up.
How many levels does this game have,
90
Jeff?
levels.
You know that?
Let's see, there's only 3 bosses in the entire game, so 15 levels.
Oh,
Well, I'm on level 6.
It's only like a 2-hour-long game max.
Betamax.
Baymax, Betamax.
I was gonna say I didn't understand English back then when I watched the Clone Wars commercials. I only know that the guy talking about it was doing a British voice because Europe, so I'm pretty sure Cartoon Network was aired with the British people and commentators and whatnot. But however, the voice acting for the cartoons were American, and more often than not, I didn't understand stuff back then. I remember, but even then, I enjoyed watching Cartoon Network. I loved Ed, Edd and Eddy. I loved Elliot Kid, Kung Fu. There's a show called Bernard Bear, which was like a polar bear, and it was like a CGI cartoon. Not sure if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, cool! It just freaking trapped me. It hit me 3 times without me.
And I really love
We never
Bernard
do
Bear.
anything.
As a kid, I really enjoyed that.
You ever seen
But it
League of
didn't air on
Speed?
cartoons. Actually, no, I'm confusing. It didn't air on Cartoon Network. It aired out on my cartoons channel.
Okay, I'm gonna try this boss one more time, then I'm done. I freaking hate this boss so much.
With the lion boss?
Yeah, it
Where's
just
it?
stun locks you so many times where you can't do anything and you're just trapped. And it hits you like 5 times in a row.
Oh, he's supposed to hit his
By the
weak
way,
point for
Jeff,
massive damage
how you
and
doing?
dodge.